Okay guys, so welcome ulit dito sa ating YouTube channel at ito yung lesson 19 sa ating college algebra at yung nature of the roots. So ano nga ba yung nature of the roots ng isang quadratic equation at bakit nga ba kailangan natin kunin yung nature of the roots? Okay, so the roots of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to z have been defined as x is equal to negative b positive negative squared of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is by previous lesson yung ating quadratic formula. So ito yung roots niya, literal. So, ulitin ko lang, in general, siya yung ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 or in standard form. Tapos, pag sinolve natin yung value ng x niyan using quadratic formula, ito yan. Okay, yan yung parang roots niya. So, isa-substitute ko lang or input na lang natin lahat ng value ng a, b, and c. Okay, then, ngayon, bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng nature of the roots sa quadratic equation? Kasi, meron siyang square root. Okay, sa square root na yan, nadidictate or nalalaman mo kung siya ay imaginary, siya ay equal, siya ay unequal. Ay, bakit sir? Kasi nga, itong square root na yan, possible na yung b squared minus 4ac is negative. Possible siya na 0, possible siya na greater than 0 or positive. Okay, so sabi nga, anong tawag dun sa b squared minus 4ac na yan? That is the discriminant. It is the number b squared minus 4ac that plays such an important role in determining the nature of the roots of quadratic equation. So, siya nga ay importante. So, basically, ito, pag ginawa mo to, so for example, tinanong ka, meron bang, ito ba ay merong real solution, ito ba ay merong imaginary solution, or ito ba ay equal or unequal, kailangan mo lang computein si b squared minus 4ac. So, hindi mo na kailangan computein yung mismong value ng x. Okay, so ang kailangan mo lang gawin, kunin mo lang yung b squared minus 4ac, then check mo lang kung greater than by 0, equal to 0, or less than 0. So, ito nga, so yung value of discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, ito lang, makukuha sa tatlong value. So, whenever yung b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, that is real and unequal. Okay, so ano ba yung mga example nun? Last time, yung possible example nun are ito. Walang ko na value. Yan. So, yung x squared minus 14x is equal to negative 48. So, yung nature of the roots niyan, pag sinolve mo, malalaman mo, so di ba nga nakuha natin ang value ng x is 8 and 6. So, therefore, ang nature of roots niyan, o yung discriminant niya, rather, is b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. So, pag sinolve mo yung discriminant nun, greater than 0 siya. Then, real and unequal. Kasi nga 8 and 6 sagot. Ngayon, whenever yung b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, so hindi pa tayo nagkaroon ng ganyang scenario. So, possible lang to pag yung ating quadratic equation is a perfect square trinomial. Yun na isa sa mga na-observe ko. So, ulitin ko lang, possible siya pag whenever yung ating quadratic equation is pag nilagay natin lahat sa left side nung kanyang mga value o ginawa lang siya standard form, tapos pinactor mo, ang nangyari, siya ay a perfect square trinomial or a perfect trinomial square. Okay, so in that case, that is real and equal. Next is b squared minus 4ac whenever it is less than 0. So ayun nga, pag negative yung lumabas sa loob nun, napapansin mo naman, pag negative yung lumalabas nun, that is an imaginary. Okay, so ayan yung tatlong value ng discriminant. Pag napansin nyo, medyo naputol dyan kasi nga nung nag-print, hindi ko rin yung naasahan na magka-cut dito. So probably dun sa next na slide or next cut na itong video na to is isusulat ko na lang yung given. Kasi nga dun sa may yung mga module kung binigay nyo, kung napansin nyo, may nakasunod dyan, which is example. Paano kunin yung discriminant. So let's have example para kunin itong discriminant na to. Okay guys, so ito yung example. I-rewrite ko na lang siguro dito kasi nga na-cut siya dun sa ating papel, dun sa aking pinrint. So try ko lang na i-write. So determine the nature of the roots. So for number 1, determine the nature of the roots. Okay, so for the following. So, pag nabasa niyo yung word na nature of the roots, I mean, yung sagot, yung kunyari, yung lumabas, b squared, yung b squared minus 4ac mo is greater than 0. Ang sagot mo is totally siya ay real and unequal. So, yun yung nature of the roots. Pero whenever say you find the value of discriminant, so no need to tell ano siya, mo siya ba ay real or unequal. So, depende yan sa tanong. Okay, so for letter A, lagay ko lang. So, zoom out ko lang konti ito. Okay, so ito yung A. So for letter A, we have x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. So anong gagawin dyan? Kaya nga sinabi ko sa inyo, identify mo na lang si A, si B, and C. So for the meantime, ano si A dito? So si A is equal to 1, si B is equal to 8, and si C is equal to 16. Ano yung mga possible value? So ngayon, hahanapin natin yung discriminant, then saka tayo magde-decide ko siya ba ay greater than 0, equal to 0, is less than 0. Saka natin sasabihin yung kanyang nature of the roots. So for B squared, so if we have B squared minus 4AC, okay, so substitute natin yung mga value. So this is 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 16. So obviously this is 64. Tama? So this is 64 minus 64 din, which is equal to 0. Okay, so kung napansin mo yung B squared minus 4AC is equal to 0. Ngayon, ano ba sabi ko? Usually mapapansin mo yan na nag-equal sa 0 pag yung ating left side, o pag ginawa ating standard form yung ating quadratic formula, ay yung quadratic equation, I mean, siya ay perfect square trinomial. So perfect square trinomial ba yan? Yes sir, perfect square trinomial po yan. It can be factored out as x plus 4 raised sa 2. No? Okay, so therefore, alam natin na siya ay mag-equal sa 0. So ano yung nature of the roots niya? Yung nature of the roots niya is real. This is real and equal. Okay, so next is the example, si B. So let's have B. So B is x squared minus 8x minus 5 is equal to 0. So by the way, baka mag-iba yung example na ginamit ko. Kaya na lang din bahala mag-input. Okay, so dito, ano yung value ng A? So A is equal to 1. B is equal to negative 8. C is equal to negative 5. So sana matutunan mo rin yan. So sir, pwede po bang hindi na namin ilagay yan? Yes, kung talagang familiar ka na sa value. So ginagawa ko lang to para yung iba ma-identify nila ano yung A, ano yung B, ano yung C. Okay, so find ulit the discriminant or the value of discriminant. So this is B squared minus 4 AC. So check nga natin, ito ba yung perfect square trinomial? No po sir. Yung square root of 5 is not a perfect square. Okay, so let us substitute. So this is negative 8 raised to 2 minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. So this is 64 then plus 20, kasi negative 4 times negative 5 is equal to positive 20. Therefore the value is 84, which is greater than 0. Since greater than 0 siya, ang sabi sa nature of the roots niya, this is real and unequal. So ganun lang siya kasimple. So for example, so check natin si, I think ito na lang, so letter C. So kumuha kasi ako ng ibang example. I don't know kung parehas dun sa nakat natin na paper. Hindi ko sure kung parehas to sa module. So this is 3x squared, kuha ko ng may value. So this is 3x squared minus 6x plus 5, which is equal to 0. Okay, so what is A? Write ko lang ulit. So A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 6, and C is equal to positive 5. Okay, then we have to determine the value of discriminant. So the value of discriminant is B squared minus 4AC, then substitute. So this is negative 6 raised to 2 minus 4 times 3 times 5. Negative 6 raised to 2 is positive 36 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 5, that is 60. Okay, so that is 60. So obviously this is negative 24, which is less than 0. Tama ba? Since less than 0 siya, the nature of the root is imaginary. Okay, so ganun lang siya kasimple sa paggamit ng discriminant. Napakadali lang niya. Ulitin ko lang ha. So whenever yung tanong is determine the nature of the roots, you need to find the value of discriminant and tell whether siya ba ay real and unequal or imaginary. Pero pag sinabing find the value of discriminant, no need to tell kung siya ba ay ito, no need to tell yung nature of the roots niya. Okay, magkaiba yung tanong na pag sinabi find the value of discriminant sa pag sinabing find the value of nature of the roots. Pag sinabing find the value of discriminant lang. So wala tayong pakialam kung ano man siya. Pero pag sinabing find the nature of the roots, syempre kailangan mo hanapin si discriminant at the same time tell whether kung ano siya dun sa mga tatlo. Okay? So let's have number 2. Okay, so determine k so that the roots of x squared plus 6x plus k is equal to 0 are real. So dalawa yung case dito, no? So sabi nga determine k so that the roots of x squared plus 6x plus k is equal to 0. So dito kasi kailan ba siya magiging real? Real siya, dalawa yung case, no? Naalala mo dun sa ating definition. Magiging real siya, dalawa kasi yung case ng real, hindi lang sinabing, ang sabi lang talaga real eh. So sabi real and unequal, real and equal. So possibly dalawa yung ating sagot dito. Okay, so let us start. So determine k so that the roots of yan na x plus 6x is equal plus k is equal to 0. So ano bang gagawin natin? So hanapin lang natin yung value ng a and b, c. So in this case, ang value ng a is 1, ang value ng b is 6, ang value ng c for the meantime is k. So yan yung target natin hanapin. So using the discriminant or the formula for discriminant, so this is only b squared. So dalawa yung case, no, kailan siya magiging real. Magiging real siya pag equal to 0 tapos greater than sa 0. So case 1 natin, lagay ko na sa case 1. Case 1, whenever b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay, so this case, this is 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times k is equal to 0. Okay, note that this is 36 minus 4k is equal to 0. Okay, then transpose natin si 36. So this is 4k is equal to negative 36. Then divide both side by 4 or negative 4. So that is k is equal to positive 9. Okay, so meaning the value of k whenever siya ay real and equal must be 9. Teka lang ha, the value of k whenever siya ay real at the same time real and equal, the value of k must be 9. So for case 2, kunin ko for case 2, so whenever b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. So since hindi pa ako nagtuturo ng inequality, konting pahapyaw lang ako dito. So this is 6 squared, no? So 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times k is equal to greater than 0. So this is 36 minus 4k is greater than 0. Okay, so in this case muna, ang gagawin niyo sir is may property kasi, mag-multiply kasi tayo ng negative. So ang gagawin ko, itatranspose ko yung negative 4k sa kabila kasi hindi ko pa pwedeng ilabas yung property na pag nag-divide ako ng negative both side or nag-multiply ako ng negative both side, magpapalit yung inequality. So for the meantime, itatranspose ko si 4k. So this is 36k greater than 4k. Okay, then divide both side by 4. So this is 9 is less than k. Okay, so in that case, siya yung magiging value niya. So dapat yung value ng k daw natin is less than 9. Ganun yung mangyayari. Okay, so ulitin ko lang ha, mayroon kasing, kaya ito yung inuna ko, mayroon kasing property na pag nag-divide ako ng negative or nag-multiply ako ng negative sa inequality, magpapalit ng inequality from greater than magiging less than. So ang ginawa ko, ginanyan ko na lang. Okay, so another value of k must be k is less than 9. Ngayon dapat. So meaning yung mga value na 8, 7 pababa or mga irrational number pababa or mga real number pababa. Okay, so yun dapat yung value ng k. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay, now let's have sum and products of the roots. So ito naman, alam ko na yung isang quadratic equation may roots. Actually, alam ko lagi siyang dalawa. So nagkakaroon lang talaga ng case na isa siya pag yung isa extraneous root. Pero for the meantime, i-assume natin na laging dalawa yung roots ng isang quadratic equation. So define the roots or define the root r1 and r2 or r sub 1 and r sub 2 of the quadratic equation as r sub 1 is equal to negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and r sub 2 is equal to negative b minus square root ng b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So kung napansin mo, yung plus or minus yan, pinaghiwalay na. Kasi nga alam natin gano'n nangyari sa quadratic formula. Ginagawa natin yung plus minus, paghihiwalayin din natin kasi alam natin dalawa yung value niya or dalawa yung roots niya. Okay, ngayon, i-define ko lang na yung dalawang yun, yung x sub 1, x sub 2 dapat natin nasagot. Ginawa ko lang r1 and r2 or r sub 1 and r sub 2. Meaning root number 1 and root number 2. Assuming yun. So ngayon, hanapin natin yung sum ng root. Okay, so yung sum ng root is r sub 1 plus r sub 2. So using the formula, i-add lang natin to. So this r sub 1 plus r sub 2. This is the sum of the roots. So lagay natin ng value. This is negative b plus square root ng b squared minus 4ac all over 2a plus, this is plus negative b minus square root ng b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so ang obvious na sila ay same denominator or similar fraction. So since similar fraction sila, pwedeng mag-isa na lang yung kanilang denominator, which is this is 2a na lang po. Okay, and that is negative b plus square root ng b squared minus 4ac minus, plus, this is plus negative b minus square root ng b squared minus 4ac. So kung napansin mo, may mga cancel dyan. So pag tinanggal ko yung grouping symbol, ang mga cancel si negative si square root ng b squared minus 4ac sa kato. Mga cancel sila literal. So magiging sagot negative b plus negative b, that is negative 2b over 2a. Then tanggalin natin, that is negative b over a. So therefore, what is the sum of the roots? Ang sum of the roots is the negative of the coefficient of x over the coefficient of x squared, or it is the negative quotient of the coefficient of b over and the coefficient of x squared. So ayun siya, negative b over a. So ulitin ko lang, yung sum of the roots is negative b over a. Ganun lang kasimple. Alam mo na yun sa mismong quadratic equation. Okay, ganyan na kasimple yung value. Next is r1 and r2. So r1 multiplied by r2. R1 multiplied by r2. So pag sinabi kong r1 multiplied by r2, meaning i-multiply natin literal to. So this is negative b plus square root ng b squared minus 4ac all over 2a multiplied by negative b minus square root ng b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So kung napansin mo, pag nag-multiply tayo, since yung wala tayong dito sinusunod ko ano naman yung denominator niya, so pansin natin din numerator. Yung numerator is negative b, parehas sila ng first term. Second term, parehas din sila, square root ng b squared minus 4ac, pero magkaiba ng gitna. So para siyang sum and difference, so product ng sum and difference. Tama ba? So para siyang a minus b times a plus b. So, yung a minus b times a plus b is a squared minus b squared. So, meaning, i-square lang natin yung negative b, square lang natin ito yung square root. So, this is equal sa, square lang natin si negative b, minus, square nung square root ng, b squared, that is b squared, yung 4ac, raised sa 2, yung square root niyan, all over, 4a squared. Kasi 2a times 2a is 4a squared. Next is, cancelin natin yung mga square. So, this is b squared na lang. Kasi negative b times negative b is b squared. Minus, ito ay b squared minus 4ac. All over 4a squared. So obviously, pag tinanggal ko yung grouping symbol, magiging negative to. So lagay ko lang, no? So this is b squared minus b squared minus 4ac. Sorry, this is plus. Kasi negative times negative is positive. All over. This is 4a squared. Okay, next. Cancel yung b squared, no? So this is 4ac over 4a squared. So, by simplifying, so this is only equal sa c na lang sa taas, all over may a pa. Okay, so meaning the product of the roots is only c over a. So, kung gusto mo malaman yung product ng roots ng ating quadratic equation, i-divide mo lang yung coefficient o yung constant c over sa coefficient ng x squared. So, kung gusto mo malaman yung sum, kunin mo lang yung negative ng coefficient ng b over coefficient ng x squared. Ganun lang kasimple yung formula niya. So ito ay very useful lalo na pag naghahanap tayo ng isang quadratic equation. Okay? So proceed tayo sa example na ito. Okay, so let's have an example. So find the sum and product of the roots of the following or for the following. So letter A, we have x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. B is 2x squared minus x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then, letter C is a squared minus 6a is equal to 0. So, in this case, gawin mo na lang, hanapin mo yung value ng a, b, c, tapos saka mo hanapin yung kanyang sum of the roots, saka yung product of the roots. Okay, so, paano yung gagawin natin dito? So, for letter A, rewrite ko lang. So, this is x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. Kailangan ko na yata magpalit ng patungan. Medyo umaangat na siya. Okay, so in this case, lagay natin yung value ng a. What is the value of a? A is 1, b is 2, c is negative 15. So, hanapin natin yung sum of the roots. So, let's say yung r1 plus r2. So, r1 plus r2 is just negative b over a. Tama ba? So, that is only equal sa negative 2 over 1 which is equal sa negative 2. Yan lang siya simple. Then, yung product of the roots, this is r1 times r2. That is only c over a. So, kunin natin yung c. So, that is negative 15 over 1 which is only equal sa negative 15. Okay, so ganun lang siya ka-easy. So, kunin mo lang yung A, B, C, tapos substitute lang natin sa formula ng sum and product of the roots. Okay, so let's have letter B. So, this is for letter B. For letter B, we have 2x squared minus x minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is A is equal to 2, obvious, no? B is equal to negative 1, C is equal to negative 5. Okay, so paano siya? R1 and R2. So this is R1 plus R2 is simply negative B over A, or simply this is negative of negative 1 over 2. Okay, which is equal sa positive 1/2. Okay, then for R product niya, so R1 times R2 is only equal sa C over A, which is equal sa negative 5 over 2. So, wala naman tayo pwede simplify, box na natin siya. No, napakadali lang talaga niya, no? So, let's have letter C. So, for letter C, we have A squared minus 6A is equal to 0. So, dito, huwag ka malito basta kahit yung variable ko, ginawa kong A squared yan, ganun pa rin tayo. Yung ating gagamitin na ABC para hindi ka malito sa formula, yun pa rin. So, huwag ka lang malito So, A dito is 1. B dito is negative 6. Yung C dito is, since di mo nakikita, siya ay 0. Okay, since wala siyang constant C, ang lagay mo na 0, automatic. Okay, so this is R1 plus R2. So, what is R1 plus R2? R1 plus R2 is just negative B over A. So, that is negative of negative 6 all over 1. Which is positive 6. Tama, kasi negative of negative 6 is positive 6 divided by 1 is positive 6 or 1 pa rin. Okay, nagmukha lang 6 to. Next is yung product. So, let's have R1 times R2. This is equal to C over A. So, that is 0 over 1. So, ito pwede to. 0 divided by 1 o 0 divided by any number is always 0. Okay, so therefore the product of the roots is 0. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Probably, pag yung product of the roots is 0, probably isang roots is 0. Ayun yung ibig sabihin nun. Isa sa roots na yun, yung R1 or R2, yung x of 1 or x of 2 mahanap mo, isa doon sure ako 0. So dito nga case yan, sure yan. Pag pinactor ko to, A, so pag pinactor ko kasi ito mangyayari lang eh. Pinalagay ko yung solution yun, so that is A times A minus 6 is equal to 0. So by zero product property, that is A is equal to 0, tapos yung isa, A is equal to 6. So tama ako, yung isa sa roots nila is 0. Tama, isa is 6. So huwag ka naman ito ha, hindi yung A na yan, ito yan, hindi yan. Yung A na yan is para lang dun sa standard equation natin na quadratic, sa standard quadratic equation. So yung A natin is yung coefficient ng x squared. Itong A naman na to is yung value mismo ng roots na ng quadratic equation, A squared minus 6A. So yung unang A is 0, yung pangalawang A is 6. So bakit ko siya hinanap? Pinakita ko lang sa inyo na yung product nila is 0. Kasi sabi nga, yung product daw ng roots nila is 0. Yung sum daw ng roots nila is 6. Ganun din dito. Hanapin mo yung value nito ng x dito. I-add mo or i-multiply, ito yung mga lalabas. Ito rin, i-add mo, i-multiply mo, yan yung mga lalabas. Okay? Okay, so let's have next example. So form a quadratic equation whose roots are 2 and negative 3. So let's say na yun yung x1 and x2 or yung r1 and r2. So we all know, so magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation which is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 whenever yung roots niya o yung x of 1 or r1 niya is 2 and r2 is negative 3. Okay, so this is very useful. Useful dito yung ating sum and product of the roots. So una, sum and product of the roots, yung una natin is r1 plus r2 is equal to negative b over a. Okay, note that the sum of the roots is this. So 2 plus negative 3 is equal to negative b over a. So this is negative 1 is equal to negative b over a, or simply negative a is equal to negative b, or a is equal to b. So hindi ko pa alam talaga eksaktong value ng a, yata nasa kanan b. So sure lang natin equal yung a sa b. So next is r1 times r2 is equal to c over a. So dito kasi mag-form tayo na parang inequality niya. So we have in this case we have r1 is 2 times negative 3 is equal to c over a. Okay, so in this case, ano ba yung value niya? So this is negative 6, no? Is equal to c over a. Okay, then check natin kung makaya ba natin mahanap yan. So note that si A is equal to B, tapos si C is equal to, so ito ay negative 6, A is equal to C. So since A is equal to B, pwede ko i-set ng ganito. Negative B is equal to C. So ibig sabihin yan, so whenever si C is 1, so that is negative 6 times C. Parang ganun yung mangyari. So meaning, kunyari iset ko na yung B is 1, yung C is 1. So kunyari lang ha, iset ko yung B na 1, C is 1. So kunyari, siset ko na si B is 1, I mean, si C negative 6. So sinet ko si B na 1, siya ay sinet ko si B na 1, siya ay 1. So ulit ko lang. Kung sinet ko si B na equal sa 1, si C natin is negative 6 times 1, which is equal sa negative 6. Okay, then therefore ano si A? A is equal to 1. Okay, so in this case, anong quadratic equation natin is x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Ayan yung quadratic equation. So kunyari, iset mo pa siya ng ibang value. Kunyari, sinet mo to na 2. Si C is negative 16, si negative 12. Tapos si B, si A, 2 rin. Ganun yung mangyayari or possible case niya. Okay? Okay, so for number 3, determine the value of k to satisfy the given condition. Okay, by the way, before tayo mag-start, mag-proceed dito, may other akong nakitang solution about dito. So sabi niya, form a quadratic equation whose roots are 2 and negative 3. So kung napansin mo, parang ganito yung process eh. So anong nangyari? Kunyari, i-reverse ko yung process ni factoring. So si factoring natin. So kunyari, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 3. Okay, i-reverse mo yung process niya. So this is x minus 2 is equal to 0. Plus x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, then by zero product property, reverse nun. So this is x minus 2, then x plus 3 is equal to 0. Tapos i-reverse ko pa, that is x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0, which is the quadratic equation. Okay, so kung napansin mo, ni-reverse ko yung process niya. Okay, so sagutan na natin to si 3. Uy, may langgam. Bye-bye. Okay, so determine the value of k to satisfy the given condition. Okay, so for letter A, we have x squared plus kx plus 49 is equal to 0. Then the sum of the roots is 14. So, ito yung gagawin natin. Kunyari for letter A. Okay, so hindi ko nasulat yung given ha. Hanapin natin yung value of k. Sulat ko lang yung mga value of A. A is equal to 1. B is equal to k. C is 49. No, tapos yung sum of the roots daw niya, yung R1 plus R2 is equal to 14. Okay, so ano ba yung R1 plus R2? Kung napansin nyo, yung ating R1 plus R2 is negative B over A. Tama? Note that yung R1 plus R2 is 14 kasi yun yung sum. This yung B is K, so that is negative K over 1. Okay, simply this is 14 is equal to negative K, or K is equal to negative 14. Ganun lang siya. Simple. Or napaka-dali niya. Okay, next is for letter B. So, write ko lang ulit yung mga given. In this case, A is K kasi kx squared plus 7x. B is 7. C is negative 3. Then we have R1 plus R2 is equal to negative 7 over 6. Okay, so since roots yung binigay, meaning roots din tayo maghahanap. Okay, so pero hindi lagi kasi kunyari, yung K natin nasa C, iba na yun. Iba na usapan yun. Saka parang mahirap na rin hanapin, or I think unable din to find. So R1 plus R2 is equal to negative B over A. So this is negative 6, negative 7 over 6 over this is negative 7 over K. Okay, then cross multiply lang natin. So this is negative 7K is equal to negative 7 times 6. Then divide na natin both side by negative 7. So clearly ano si K? So K is equal to 6. Oh, di ba? Napaka basic niya. Okay, so let's have letter C. Hoping na magkasya. I don't know talaga kung magkakasya. So C, we have, na-rate ko lang muna yung mga value. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 4, C is equal to negative K. Kasi i-arrange ko pa siya into standard form. Diba yun yung bilin ko. Then yung product daw nila, so yung R1 times R2 is negative 45. Okay, so note that ano yung product. So note that yung formula ng R1 times R2 is simply equal sa C over A. Tama? So yung product daw is negative 45. Din yung C natin is negative K over 1. So basically, ano ibig sabihin nito? This is negative 45 is equal to negative A, which means that this is K is equal to 45. Okay, ayun dapat yung value ng ating K. So kung 45 yun, yun yung product of the roots niya. Okay, so for letter D, ano ba yung letter D natin? So hoping na magkasya. So letter D, rate ko lang ulit yung mga given. So for letter D, A is K kasi x squared yun. B is negative 3, C is negative 5. So yung R1, product of the roots, times R2 is negative 5 over 2. Okay, then proceed sa formula. Note that R1 times R2 is equal to C over A. So this is negative 5 over 2, which is equal sa negative 5 yung C over K. Okay, then cross multiply. So this is negative 5K is equal to 2 times negative 5. Then divide na natin both side by negative 5. So note that K is equal to positive 2. Okay, so napaka simple niya. Tama. So letter E. So yung given, 1 root is 5. So ibig sabihin, isa sa R1 and R2 is 5. So paano yan sasagutan? Kuha ko ng extra page ng paper. O dito na lang. Hindi na kasi kasya. Sorry ah. Ay, bakit? Like that. Yan lang. Para kitang-kita yung solution. So for letter E, sulat ko lang yung mga given na. Letter E, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 10, C is equal to K. Tapos yung R1, let's say R1 is equal to 5. Okay, so among dun sa sum and product, sino dun yung may kasamang C? Sir, si product. Si product na R1 times R2 is equal to C over A. Okay, so ang gagamitin natin yung product. So this is R1 times R2 is equal to C over A. Kasi dun papasok si K. Since si K naman yung hinahanap. So this is 5R2 is equal to 5R2 is equal to C, which is K over 1. Okay, I think insufficient pa to. So this is 5R2 is equal to K. So I think lang insufficient pa yung given information natin. Next natin si R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2 is equal to negative B over A. Okay, note that R1 is 5 plus R2, which is equal sa negative 10 over 1, which is equal sa 5 plus R2 is equal to negative 10. So what is R2? R2 is simply negative 10 minus 5, o R2 is equal to negative 15. So may value na ako ng R2. So since R2 is negative 15, pwede natin input dito. So this is 5 times negative 15 is equal to K. So this is negative 45, which is equal sa K. So the value of K is negative 45. So ganun lang. Pag insufficient yung condition, probably hahanapin mo yung isa na yung product o yung sum. Okay? So ganun gawin yung ating A, B, C, D. So I think nakuha mo naman na yung mga dapat gawin dyan. So wala na akong dapat ituro pa dyan. Okay? So that's all for this video. So yun yung nature of the roots. Tapos andyan yung sum and product dito sa video to. So hoping na magpo-proceed ka pa sa next video natin.